Hey there, it's Brendan with Wellspring and Oikos Properties. I want to welcome you to the onboarding video. This video is a replacement video for an onboarding call that we typically do. I'm recording this because some of my clients are busy and I find that doing a video accomplishes the job. At the end of this video, if you find that you'd still like to meet for an onboarding call, please, by all means, schedule that with me. I'm not trying to pass off a meeting with you. I'd rather meet and get all these things tackled. So if the video doesn't quite get it done, just reach out. We'll schedule some time together. Um, in this video, we're going to go through a few things. We're going to go through some of the financials. We're going to do an explanation of fees, property insurance, some record keeping, the onboarding process in general, and some other resources. You'll get the hang of it. This is just an introduction to you joining our group of properties. Now, a little bit about Wellspring. We actually started with a different name. It's called Oikos Property Ventures. Now, we still operate Oikos Property Ventures and Wellspring together. They are sister companies, and you might be wondering, why do we have two? Well, the answer to that is that Oikos Property Ventures is a business that serves missionaries, and we felt like we couldn't be honest with potential guests to say, hey, these are missionaries' homes, when in fact, some of our homes were not. And so we created a sister management group, and that is Wellspring. And so all of our missionary clients are with Oikos, all of our non-missionary clients are with Wellspring, and there's just kind of a mixture. So it's more about brand separation than it is anything. Operationally, you'll see emails from me from both Oikos, and you'll see my Wellspring email as well. So just to get that out of the way so there's no confusion. Now let's get into financials. This is the first thing that I'm going to require and request from you as a new client is I'm actually going to add you to our owner portal. You'll see here there's a picture of one of our statements that comes out with the different reservations and some of the reservation income generated. Now, all these statements are available in your owner portal. I'm going to invite you in your email that you've given me to this owner portal. And it's crucial that you get onto this owner portal because you'll need to do a few things. Number one, you can select blackout dates for when you're traveling to the property, and this blocks it off on our calendar for us so that we know you're going to be there. The second thing is that it allows you to add a bank for payouts. Now, most of our clients, you get the money directly and we bill you back for services, but this payout feature allows us to automatically deduct that once statements have been completed. Additionally, it allows you to download your statements over the course of time, and you can also check, it's not on here, but you can check performance in the property as well. So this is one of the first steps that you'll need to do, get signed into our owner portal and get your bank account set up. The next thing is that you need to decide, and I'll ask you this via email, whether you'd like us to bill back the services that we have, the cleaning services, any consumables and things that we purchase, or if you'd prefer us to keep an authorized dedicated card on hand for your property and related incidents. Many of our clients like to keep an authorized card, and that way we can charge it on your behalf for those things. And whenever we do charge it, you'll get that invoice and you'll get that you'll get the points for it essentially. And that's what a lot of them like to do, is they like to keep the points. So we don't prefer to do it that way. It's a little more complicated in the record keeping, but so if you have no preference, we prefer to bill them back to you. All those bill backs, we will have receipts cataloged for you so that you'll see them. You'll be able to access them pretty much at any time on a monthly basis. And we do not charge for bill backs, so we do not upcharge the cleaning cost. There's very rare cases where we would do that. The third thing that I'll need from you financially is to determine your threshold of what you're going to allow in terms of maintenance or repair work to be done on the property. So sometimes there's work to be done on the property, and knowing your financial threshold of when we're able to actually authorize an expense versus not allows us to kind of manage your property better. So my recommendation is $500. That's a pretty standard limit for most owners. I think that works for most people. Now, we will still need that authorization and a credit card on file for those incidents. We would not charge those cards without getting that approval and that authorization from you on that threshold. So if a toilet breaks and it costs $600, we will reach out to you. And if you approve it, we will go ahead and pay the expense with the authorized card we have on file. Next is a W-9. Now, we're going to need to give you our W-9 at the end of the year. That's for sure. But we also collect this just to have our records straight for our bookkeeping and everything. And then finally, we will need your bank information, not just in the owner portal, but we'll need that for additional invoices or payouts that come over the course of time. Sometimes there are things that just require us to pay you directly, not through the owner portal. Okay, that's the first step. Let's go ahead and show you a picture here of what the owner portal looks like. This is a property that, this is my property, so I don't mind showing you the info here. But you'll see here, you can look at calendar statements, payouts, you can look at revenue breakdown. It's just a really good, useful tool. Now let's get into the cost and fees and all this. Now the management fee, we need to define this a little bit because I think there's some confusion that we've experienced and some feedback we've been given about making sure that we explain these terms correctly. So we're going to define that. And then I'm going to talk about the money flow, the upsells, and the damage policy. But I'm going to get to the management fee here in a minute. Let me talk about the money flow. We are a co-hosting solution, so we prefer to send all of the finances directly to the owner, and then we bill you back for our service. We would bill you that amount plus whatever incidental charges there would be, like consumables or cleaning charges or anything like that. All of those, as I mentioned, you'll have receipts for. You'll have everything that you need for those. Those will get billed back to us on a monthly basis. Now, the exception to that is our upsells. The upsells are something that, for some reason, our system is not sophisticated enough to direct upsell payments to your bank account. And so we do collect those on your behalf. And then those are added to the statement as a credit. So you will see that from time to time, especially if we get upsells to your property. The next thing is to talk about the damage policy. We have a damage policy with something called WAVO that I'll talk about here in a minute. This is a property manager focused solution for incidental damages under $1,500. And so most damages fall under that damage range. And this is additional coverage just to make sure that we can move quickly on any incidents related to your property and get things replaced without having to go through your insurance and hike up your insurance bills and things like that. In order to do that, however, we have to collect a damage management fee on top of each booking. This is not billed to you, this is billed to the guest. And I've taken a picture here so that you can see what this looks like. On your statements, you'll notice that there's reservation up here from commissions, and then where I've pointed the arrow is total fees. Now, this one is a bit egregious. They're not normally $1,200. That's for some other things related to this specific property. But what would happen on an Airbnb reservation is that we would actually add in a line on Airbnb a management fee. That management fee goes to the guest. The guest pays for that, and then we collect it. And the reason we collect it is because we're charged on a per booking basis with WAVO in order to cover this damage. So that is just the policy that we have. It protects you. It doesn't impact your income at all. But the way it's reflected on these statements can be a little confusing. So in Airbnb, it's technically called a management fee and that is different than our co-hosting fee that we're charging you as a percentage of the booking. Hopefully that makes sense. If you have questions, let me know. I can clear it up. So let me go ahead and talk about insurance damage, etc. We do need a copy of your short-term rental insurance. If you don't have it, we can give you some recommendations for potential insurance coverage. And I wanted to highlight again that we use WAVO. It's a vacation damage protection, and it solves guest damage, both accidental and intentional. And it's just a peace of mind thing for us to have. Let's go ahead and get into record keeping. So in addition to your portal that we're going to give you access to, you can access your statements, your payouts, state blocking there. There's a few other systems that we have for record keeping. Internally, we use something called Bitwarden. It's SOC 2. It's a professional grade way to store sensitive information. So any of your banking information or information that can't be exposed publicly will be stored in Bitwarden. So you don't have to worry about getting me that information. I'm going to have an intake form to get this information from you, and then we will store it there, and we'll delete any forms that you've sent those passwords on. The next thing is Google Drive. We've tried to use more what you could say professional systems, but honestly, Google Drive is just accessible and easy, and everyone knows how to use it. In the Google Drive, we're going to keep a copy of all the photos for the property. Importantly, any receipts for services and charges there. Your property information is going to be included there on a Google Note, and then your onboarding packet is going to be linked there as well. Now, when I say property information, we are going to send you a Google Doc that we'd like for you to fill out. This Google Doc is going to ask you a ton of questions. Like I said, we used to send forms, but I found that people sitting down trying to do a form that has all sorts of information that you probably don't have readily available likely is going to result in you stopping and then doing it later. And then this form just takes, 45 minutes versus just having something open that you can come and edit as you're available. So we've chosen to use Google Docs for that reason, but you will see that in a forthcoming email. I want to highlight this. It is very, very important that you fill out that information as much as humanly possible. And we will go through it on our final kind of like sign-off meeting, because that information sets us up for success. Finally, we use a system called Breezeway for all of our service records. This would be for things that are routine maintenance and inspections on the property. Does not include like warranted work, such as a plumber comes to fix something. They will generally send their work order information to us when they're done. Most of them do that. Some of them don't. But Breezeway is for our regular ongoing maintenance stuff. All right. A little bit about the process, and we'll be almost done here. I'm going to do a site visit on your property. Now, these don't necessarily all work in the same order, but I'll do a site visit. Usually, I cover the inventory. I look at the condition. I make sure access is clear and that we have additional access points, extra keys, that kind of thing. I look for security risks on the property, ring cameras, things like that. And then, part of the inventory is taking pictures and photos of all the appliances, making sure that I have all the models and things that I need for any kind of service. The digital onboarding is getting your listings up, getting our software stacks set up. That's pretty self-explanatory. And then any other work, if there's other additional things that are outside the scope of onboarding, at that point we can talk about it and we can handle them as separate projects. That's just how we have to handle it internally. And then also, if you need a lot of renovation and a lot of love on the property, that's typically not in the scope of an onboarding agreement, because the properties, might need a lot of extra labor that isn't accounted for. This is just a photo to show you. I have an internal project management system called Wrike, W-R-I-K-E. This is where we manage all of my project stuff. Related to your onboarding. There's 147 tasks that I'll need to complete to get you onboarded. But don't worry, that sounds crazy, but many of them I can get done relatively quickly. So I will, if you want to get invited to this board for your property, I can certainly invite you, but it's a fairly sophisticated system. So I wouldn't have hurt feelings if you say, don't include me on that. Okay, some final resources for you. If there's something out there called Host Share, and it's for people that are hosts of a property to be able to travel to other hosts free. Now, the caveat is that these are homes that are last minute available. So if there's a home that's last minute available, you can list it on Host Share, and other hosts can stay there, and they only pay the cleaning fee. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that most of the time, these are nights that are going to go unbooked anyways, and you can use those unbooked nights to let another Airbnb host stay at your property. They're usually pretty good guests, and you get to use the Host Share network for free as well. They usually have like a membership fee that you'll get for free, but you will pay a small commission on each travel date. But what's cool about this is that you can go travel to $500 a night property for like $50. So it's a pretty cool resource. If you want to get signed up, let me know, because we have a partnership with them. You can get it for free. Ownwell is an online kind of property tax management company, not available in every state, but they can help you negotiate your tax bill down, and they do it automatically, and then they charge you 30% of what you saved. So if you don't have somebody handling your property taxes, that's a good resource to look into. You'll have that in the email as well. Another one, Baselane. Baselane is a rental property banking software with accounting built in that is pretty good, and it's free to use. I recommend it for people that are doing short-term rentals, because it allows for you to do accounting and some other cool things with it. You can prepare tax packages and all that. So it's a good resource. I just recommend it. I'll send you a link for that. And then finally, if you don't have an insurance, proper insurance is the insurance that I prefer. Now, they're not cheap, but short-term rental insurance is not cheap in general. So I can make an introduction if you need it. Okay, final thing, and then we'll be done here, is the revenue management. I get a lot of questions about revenue management. Uh, Honestly, revenue management has been around for a while, but it's just a buzzword now in the short-term rental world. I just want you to know, properties over $100,000 are certainly going to get a dedicated revenue manager. We work with a partner that we have a strategy already worked out for most properties, and we tailor it to your property. And I have a dashboard for those. For all other properties, we do set up dynamic pricing and rule sets with occasional promotions. Now, what we do this on all properties, but what we're essentially doing is we are creating promotions on Airbnb or Vrbo or wherever, and then moving up our pricing on our property management software. This creates the appearance of a deal on Airbnb. It tricks the algorithm. And so those are some of the tactics and things that we do. But we do actively manage your revenue. And so a lot of people have questions, so I always answer it. The other thing that we do to generate more revenue is we do offer upsells to our guests. I see here I didn't fill these out completely. Oops. No matter. The final thing is repeat bookings. So one of the things we like to do is try and generate repeat bookings. We sometimes will make recommendations to people on things they should install and keep on their property in order to get those repeat bookings, such as a StayFi device, which we absolutely recommend for properties that have high guest counts. So, okay. I think that is all I have. If you have questions about this process, please let me know, but be looking for all the required information in the rest of this email. Thank you so much.